All right.
So, everybody, thank you for listening today. I'm with Abasa. Abasa is from Japan, and I'll give everybody a backstory on how I met Abasa. Um, I was listening to a podcast, Abasa, in over here in the States. Podcast name was the Personal Party Podcast, and it's ran by Smoke Dizza as a rapper and his friend Show Broadway. And Smoke Dizza recently released an NFT, right? He has a lot of influence, so he had enough influence to release an NFT. His NFT sold, and it did pretty well. But he said he didn't do enough knowledge. He didn't do enough of the knowledge. He said one thing he was missing was going on Clubhouse and actually engaging with the communities to, really get involved and, chop it up with people who, in these rooms.
Hmm.
So I said, I'm gonna go to Clubhouse and I'm gonna find somebody I can chop it up
Hmm.
with in these rooms because I don't want to make the same mistakes. So I'm here with Abasa today. Abasa, thank you for coming on to the Rolling Pin podcast because what we're gonna do, well, what I'm looking to do with Abasa is to provide people as much knowledge about NFTs as possible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I'll just give you a little backstory on me. From Philadelphia. Then when I was 14, 15, moved to LA. And then stayed there for a while. Then in college, I did 2 study abroads in Japan. So that was in 2000 and 2001. And I loved it. I'd already been learning Japanese for 2 years at that time. And yeah, I came here and just loved it. So, I graduated from school. I went to school. I went to San Jose State University.
So you were actually in the States, like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. So I was there. I was going back and forth around 2000 and 2001.
Okay.
And then I moved back to Japan in 2004, and I stayed since. So I've been here
Okay.
a total of 18 years.
Damn. How you? I mean, you said you
It's
love it
great.
more. Yeah.
Ah, man. Yeah, it's incredible here.
Yeah.
It's
The culture's always a little bit more advanced over there anyway. You know what I
it
mean? As
is.
far as
Oh, totally. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
people seem
He
cool.
it's crazy. If you when you go to Starbucks here and there's a say you're in line to buy your drink, but you see a
Mhm.
seat open up, you run and you'll put your phone or your wallet on your seat and then you go back in line.
Damn, and
That's to
nobody
reserve
touched
your
you.
seat. No, you leave valuables there. The whole
Damn,
point is to leave your valuables.
that's what's up. It's a lot of respect. It's a lot
Yeah,
of respect in the culture.
it's cool. And they don't they think of us as all foreigners. It's not really black and white so much,
I like that.
or
I like that.
Americans or Europeans.
Yeah.
So if you're walking around like you know how it is in the US. You're walking around CVS or
Yeah.
something, and a security guard is following you. Like, all right, what's this guy gonna? They don't do that here at all.
I
There's
feel
just
you.
no expectation that you're ever gonna steal anything ever, no matter who you are.
That's what's up. And I guess you
Yeah.
found peace in that. You found
Oh
peace over
yeah.
there. Yeah. That's what's
Oh
up, man.
yeah. Yeah.
Shit. That sounds like a move that I need to make.
Yeah, I know. At least come out for a minute, check it out,
Yeah.
see what's up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of brothers and sisters out here,
Mhm.
so it's
Yeah.
cool.
So, at San Jose State, is that where you like? What was your major there? Is that what led you into NFTs, or is that something like what led you into this space as
Yeah.
far as
So yeah, yeah.
information and knowledge?
I wanted to be an engineer, a mechanical engineer. So I studied my major. I double majored in math and physics,
Okay.
but then I switched it right before I was going to graduate. I switched it. I started learning Japanese, so I switched it to Japanese and international business, double major.
Hmm.
And then I did those study abroads, and that was it. It was a wrap. I wasn't going back to engineering at all. So I loved it. At San Jose State University, there's it's right in the Silicon Valley. It's a pretty good university. It's the one that has those brothers in the Olympics that held their fists high.
Okay.
So there's a statue of them there. It's cool. So but I was always into tech. So when I moved to Japan, I actually it was 2004, and the tech industry fell out in 2000 2001 with the first tech bubble. So there was no jobs in tech. So I worked in finance. I came out here to work in finance. I did that until 2008. Then I just started doing some e-commerce stuff. This was at the financial crisis now.
Hmm.
So I was out of finance, and then so I was doing some e-commerce stuff, and then I quickly pivoted to online payments. So I was really interested in well, fintech, but it wasn't called fintech back then.
What do you mean by
And
online payment stuff like Square and stuff like that? Or
exactly, yeah, like Square or like Stripe, but they didn't have those companies weren't around back then.
I got you.
So I was working for I got hired to be the country manager for a big British online payment company. They're called PaySafe now. And so I was running their Japan operations.
Hmm.
I'm obviously skipping over a lot here, but
No, this is
but
good. This is good because I'm hearing Square in my mind, and I'm
but
automatically starting to think about the digital part. You know what I mean? As
yeah,
far as
yeah, this is where all that started.
all right, I
Yeah,
got you. I got you.
yeah, this is where all that started. And then I was also doing this also ties into it, but I started doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu
Okay.
around then too. And so I was really Brazilian jiu-jitsu is kind of like our generation. We don't play golf. I'm 45. You're younger than me, but we don't
Yeah.
play golf, right? I mean, I
Mhm.
played Street Fighter.
Yeah, I don't play
You know what
golf.
I
I
mean?
like Street Fighter too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we did stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, it's a kind of an expensive hobby.
Hmm.
But if you're there during the day, that means there's other entrepreneurs there.
I got
So
you.
it's pretty good networking there. So you meet a lot of other entrepreneurs there.
Hmm.
And anyway, so around I'll get back to that. But
I
in
got you.
2008, 2009, I was running that payment company. Then 2010, I left there and I thought, man, I want to do that for myself. I want to see if I could build an online payment
I like
system.
that.
So I started really researching and reverse engineering some online payment systems that we have here.
Give me one
And
second. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
yeah,
to cut
yeah,
you off.
no
My
problem.
son, he
It's all
oh
good. It's all good. It's all good. I just took my daughter to school. So it's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah, but this is Gary too. This is Gary.
Hey, what's up?
yeah. Can you hear?
Hey. I hear you. Yeah. Hey,
All right,
little guy.
What's up, buddy? All right. So
He's
where were
looking
we at?
at you like, what is going on?
Yeah, where we at with the story? We were,
Yeah, so I was reverse engineering some online payment systems in Japan, right? And in Japan, again, remember this is 2009, 2010. Maybe the iPhone 3G must have just came out. So, Facebook was still using a really janky mobile app. So we were all just kind of switching to mobile, right?
mhm.
And there was online games in Japan, and online games have their own online game like cash systems.
I got you.
And there was one in Japan, it's still around, it's called BitCash, right?
But what do you
So
mean by cash system? Like, I'm not following. But
it's like an in-game currency.
okay, I got you. Okay,
Right.
this is all tying
Right.
in. I got you.
Yeah. So you would go to 7-Eleven and you would buy this in-game currency prepaid cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would go to the game and then you would type it in and then it would be like, like your account has $10 or whatever in it, right?
I got you. Uh-huh.
And the main system for that here was called BitCash.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay,
So
what
I
is
think
this
over here
BitCash?
there was no big cash.
There wasn't, no.
Okay. All right.
No. It was just in Japan.
Got you.
Japanese company. So I was like, man, what is this company about? They seem to be making moves. So I was researching them online and stuff, all in Japanese. But I must have did it in English. I must have typed it in English because then Bitcoin came up. So this is 2010.
Got you.
So I'm like, what is it the same thing? And I quickly realized, oh, it's totally different. And the more I learned about Bitcoin, the more I was like, oh wow, this is incredible. Screw what I was doing before. Let me get more involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
And Satoshi was still involved back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I was researching, but I couldn't get my hands on it. I tried to mine it with my friend. That didn't work. I was taking online Chinese lessons and the lady was like, pay me in Bitcoin. Even back then.
This is early as shit.
It was really early. Yeah, it was really early. Yeah. Bitcoin was like $1, $2 back then.
Shit.
So I was like, how do I get this Bitcoin? When she's like, pay me in Bitcoin. I'm like, I want to pay you in Bitcoin, but I can't get it. So I just started following it. And then I met a guy who my mutual Japanese friends who also lived in San Jose also knew. He was a guy from San Jose who moved to Japan around the time when I moved to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing jujitsu.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew of the guy because we had all the same mutual friends, but I hadn't met him yet. But his name was Roger. He's Roger Veer. He's known as Bitcoin Jesus.
Bitcoin Jesus.
He's really famous in the Bitcoin community, one of the most famous people in the Bitcoin community. And they call him Bitcoin Jesus because he would meet you and give you a couple of Bitcoin and then and set you up with a wallet. And then Yeah, and then move on and keep it moving.
Do we still have
So
Bitcoin Jesus? Does Bitcoin
yeah,
Jesus
he's still
still
around.
All
Yeah,
right.
he's involved with Bitcoin Cash right now, more.
Bitcoin Jesus hasn't been crucified. We still got Bitcoin Jesus on earth.
Yeah,
walking around blessing people. Shout out to
yeah.
Bitcoin Jesus.
Shout out to Bitcoin Jesus. So he blessed me. So he and our mutual friends got us together. We spoke about jujitsu for like an hour. And then I was like, yo, tell me something. He was like, what do you do? I'm like, I'm in online payments. I'm like, I hear you're involved with Bitcoin. And he perked up like, okay, Bitcoin? And I was like, yeah. I was like, he's like, do you know about it? I was like, I know about it. I just don't have any. He sat me down. He was like, all right, man, sit down, man. And he got me a wallet. And then he gave me half a Bitcoin. Okay. So 0.5 Bitcoin. And he was like, put a strong password on here so nobody can get into it. You know, I was like, yeah. Okay, strong password. Man, I lost that password in like 2 days. That was half a Bitcoin.
Damn.
But back then it was $4. So Bitcoin was $8 back then.
Okay.
So I was like, whatever, it's $4. It's all good, right? So, but now I'll wake up in the middle of the night, like thinking I remembered the password, and I'm trying to type it in because I can see it there. I just can't get into it. Gotcha. But anyway, that's how I got involved in crypto.
Right. So now we're in crypto. Now we're in crypto. And now, fast forwarding all the way up until now, we're gonna go ahead and speed it up.
Yep.
Who's listening? We are in a age where crypto is being currently accepted as a new form of digital currency.
Yep.
Here. It's still fairly early with this as well, but people
still early.
But it's early, but it's we have enough. We're in it to where it's being taken seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank goodness.
So now we're here with NFTs, and NFTs is another way for people to get involved in doing fun things, but also having money tied to it.
Yep.
So looking at the NFTs, well, let's go ahead and break down NFTs because I like to do the breakdown from everybody before we even jump into it, because people hear that and they don't even know.
They don't even know. Yeah.
So from your understanding, which you have a very great understanding on NFTs, how would you explain it to somebody who is somebody like my son here? Like,
right.
Tell him. What would you tell my son right now about NFTs?
Right. So NFTs, like, and it's interesting because this definition switches year to year. And in 2017 is when I bought my first NFT. But like, let's say you're an artist and you're a painter, right? You create 4 identical paintings. And you look at them and you're like, you can deem which one is the original. You can say, okay, the third one I made, that's the one I like. That's the original. These others are not. They're nothing. They're trash. But this third one, this one right here, it's not the third one. It's the original one. And then you show everyone, hey, this is the original painting. Maybe someone comes over to your house, they see these others in the trash, and they're like, what about these? You can say, no, those are trash. Gotcha. So you as the artist, you're like, you can deem what is the original and what is not, right? Because when you go into NFTs, you kind of have to go back into like what is an original art piece and what is value, right? The same thing when you go into cryptocurrencies for the first time, you have to go back and say, all right, well, what is money? And you have to explore that because most people haven't really explored that, right?
I got you.
So with up until now with digital art, you could just, like, I remember in the Tumblr days, people were sharing a lot of digital art, and there's no way to monetize that. You can't sell it because everyone can just copy it over and over. Right.
It can be screenshotted.
It can be all sorts of stuff. Yeah. You don't know. It's not, no one knows who owns it, who created it, or what. It's just being spread around.
It's just out there.
It's just out there. Right. Yeah. And it's free. And digital artists until now just kind of expected that. And they were creating it just to create it. Right. So unless you're commissioned, unless it's like a commercial, or unless it's like a cartoon or something. But so up until now, that's been the case. But with NFTs, an NFT is like an original. You can deem something digital original. So you can say, and you can share the NFT, but the value, the original is the owner of that NFT. So whoever's wallet that's in is the original, but you can still see the data.
I got you. Whoever's wallet it's originally in before it's transferred, or at all times?
At any time, at any given moment. It can only be in one wallet at once.
Right.
Right. So whoever owns it is,
it's like we're selling it physically, like you have it at your house. Gotcha.
Right. But I might have, it might be the Mona Lisa. Everyone says this, right? So, you can, I'm sure you've seen images of the Mona Lisa hundreds of times, right? Me too, right? But that doesn't mean we've seen the original Mona Lisa.
Right. We just know what it looks like.
We know what it looks like. And I can have an image of it on my phone, but that doesn't mean I have the original.
And you never laid your eyes on the actual Mona Lisa.
I've never seen the actual one, right? And I've never held it for sure. And I've never possessed it for sure, right? So it's never been mine. I might have prints of it. It's the same thing with so digital is like this too, and NFTs are like this too. You can have the original in your wallet, but people can see copies of it all over the place. It can even be exact copies of it because it's digital.
For somebody, thank you. Yep. I appreciate it, Abasa. For somebody who's getting started, what are some of the things that, like, some of the major things that they should be aware of before they get in? Because everybody's getting in to make a profit right now, which is gonna ultimately, which is good because that's what you like to do, but it's ultimately causing a lot of trash to be put up. And a lot of stuff that doesn't have passion behind it, et cetera, et cetera. So what are some of the things, aside from that people should be aware of when they're jumping into this NFT space as an artist?
Right. Okay. So collectors are extremely important, first of all.
Gotcha.
That's obvious, right? So I wouldn't say at all make your art for collectors. I wouldn't say that. I would say don't ever do that. But when you're releasing your NFTs, always have the collector in mind. So, and what I mean by that is the thing that's unique about NFTs and why artists are getting involved in is because you make the primary sale, you sell your art to a collector, and then if the collector goes along and sells it later on down the line, you can also make a portion of that secondary sale. You 10% or whatever.
As it's sold after you have
that's
it
right.
Again.
Right. So the collector sells it again, you also make a cut of that. And then that collector sells it again, you make a cut of that too, until the end of time.
So this is where marketing and stuff comes into play, because what ultimately happens is that you want that to keep circulating forever and ever.
You want that to happen. Possible. Yep. You want the end, and you want the value to increase.
Got you.
Right. Yeah. Because 10% of, maybe if you originally sold it for $100 is good, but 10%, $10,000 is even better, right?
Got you. So this is why it's important to make something that you care about first and foremost.
That's right.
And to do something for that's gonna have a lot of longevity to it over time.
Right.
While you increase your brand.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so what you do is, like, okay, if I were to create an NFT, I'm not an artist, but if I were to, so I run these clubhouse rooms, right? I do 2 a week. We do one on Tuesday in my time, in Tokyo time, Tuesday evenings and Friday.
You want to let them know where to find you on Clubhouse? Because after this, this would be a good time to go ahead and advertise that after this.
Thanks. Yeah. Clubhouse is tricky because you can't really search rooms, but you can search my club. It's Crypto Native, and then and you can also just search my name, Abasa Phillips, and I'll come up. And then I'll make sure I put that here so everybody can see. You know what I mean? Cheers. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, and then if they follow me, then they'll see the rooms when they come up, and then join the rooms. Then you can learn. Clubhouse is good for artists because it's a forum where not only you can learn about NFTs, but you can also promote yourself. So the two ways that artists, and this is actually very important, the two ways that artists promote themselves are, one, Twitter. Twitter's the most important, I would say. And then 2, Clubhouse, right? Because that's where collectors are, crypto collectors. So people who have a lot of crypto are on those 2 platforms. They're not really on Instagram. So like I've seen an artist with over 300,000 followers and on Instagram, but 200 followers on Twitter, and he gets all his sales through those 200 followers on his Twitter.
Gotcha.
So, which is crazy.
Twitter's the most important. Twitter is the most important. Clubhouse is the most important when we're talking about NFTs.
Yep. Those 2. Yeah, for sure. So so promote yourself, and then have good art, and then you create an NFT, you get it out there. Pricing is very important, right? How you price it is extremely important.
Let's talk about that.
Yep, because if you've been selling your art or your prints for for $100 or whatever, maybe, like, I can't even really put a benchmark on it because it depends on the artist, it depends on the art, it depends on how far your reach is. Because if you're a celebrity and your reach is extensive, you could charge what you want for.
That was actually my concern. I would consider myself a very talented artist. However, I don't have the brand recognition that could go up against somebody who might put up trash. I'm not saying it's trash because art is subjective, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How do we combat these things before we go into price? Or I guess this might be tied to price.
This is.
How do you combat this type of situation to competitively put your art up against something like this?
Yeah, like it's like if you've ever had an e-commerce store or like a podcast, you can't just put it out there and expect people to hear it.
Right.
You got to promote. You got to promote it, and you got to stay on it, right? And it's relentless and it doesn't stop. But that's what you have to do to get your name
on
out
Twitter,
there. Anywhere, but with NFTs, it's the same deal. You can't just put up an NFT and expect it to get sold. It might if you're lucky, but you have to put a lot behind it. And the more you put behind it, the higher price you can sell it for, and the faster you can sell it for. So it's directly correlated to that. And of course, it has to be nice. Yeah.
Thank you. Let me ask you this: to get as far as putting a lot of work behind it, what are some of the strategies that could be used to put this type of work behind it? Like, what would you do in the instance of making NFT, and what type of work would you put behind it?
Yeah, so I don't have a huge following, but what I would do is I would probably spend 3 weeks just promoting it. So I would document my process, because as a collector, collectors want to see they want to hear what's behind the art, right? And they want to know about the collector, and I mean about the artist. And for the artist, your goal should be to create your 1,000 fans, right? Your top fans will buy anything from you. Don't worry about millions of fans or millions of dollars, just that 1,000 fans, right?
1,000.
So
we can call them family. We'll call them family.
Yeah.
We'll tighten it
up. But there's actually a famous article called Your 1,000 Fans.
Okay.
And it's like some people are into Jordans, right? They'll buy anything Jordan, or some people are into Supreme. They'll buy a brick from Supreme, right?
I got you.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So you want that. That's what you're trying to create. So you use these 3 weeks to try to create that type of
3 weeks or more.
Or more, yeah. I mean, it should be up until now. Like as soon as you started creating art until now, you should have been doing that. But if not, that's fine. It's never.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this on the record. I'm gonna consider this conversation that we're having as a part of my NFT process.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. So you do that. You on Twitter, you show your workspace. It's a mess. It's clean. It doesn't matter. You show your process. You talk about your process. You ask your fans, "Hey, should I use this color or this color? What do you think is better?" And you make it collaborative, right? You get them involved in it so that they're invested in seeing. Okay, let's see what Gary's up to right now. Like, like how far along is this painting or whatever, right? So then you're talking about it on Clubhouse. Hey, let me get you guys' feedback. Can you take a look at my Twitter? I just posted my latest blah, blah, blah. And they look at it. Oh, yeah, that's fire. Oh, no, that's trash. You should use blah, blah, blah. So you're getting people involved, right? And then you're building that up for 3 weeks. Now you have a good amount of people who are like, all right, where is he at in the process of this NFT? I wonder what's going on. I wonder if he dropped it yet. And now you say, now you're going to have a drop party, right? So now you have maybe 100 more people in the NFT world who follow you. You and somebody else, you're gonna co-host with me or whatever, and you're gonna do a drop party, right, on Friday at 8 p.m. and then everyone's counting down in there, right? 3, 2, 1, boom. All right, I dropped my first piece. Thanks, y'all. This has been a great process. Let's see, blah blah blah. And then now you've did significant buildup, right? Yes. You're making an event out of it. We can't meet in person because of COVID or whatever. We're far away or whatever.
We're having a nice party, digital party online.
Exactly.
It's better anyway because you know what I mean. It's all digital. We digital.
It's all digital. Right. So that's how you build up, and that's how you drop it. Mm-hmm. And then you continue to promote. And then when it's sold, boom, you might not know who the collector is because a lot of times they stay anonymous. Okay. You can just see their wallet and your art in their wallet.
I got you.
And then you continue to promote. but don't drop a piece right away.
You continuously promote post purchase of the first collector.
Yes, absolutely, because you're trying to get that value to increase for the collector.
How can we get the collector? Are we getting the collector involved in the promotion?
It's hard sometimes, but sometimes you have vocal collectors, other times you don't. You know, many times they're just anonymous. Right. But if they want to be involved in that process, that's fine. That's great, right? But you keep going on Clubhouse rooms and you say, hey, yeah, I did. This is my process. This is how much I sold it for. And then you just give the knowledge back to the community, right?
Gotcha.
You're increasing your followers, then collectors still follow you, and then you rinse and repeat. And then you take another 3 weeks, you say, I got another drop coming. But the reason why you span it out that long is because you're letting that original art piece increase in value.
Gotcha.
Right? Which is good for the collector. Mm-hmm. So the collector sells at a profit, right? And then that's all good because you get a cut of that too. And the next collector can come in and see when you drop your next one, it's like, wow, okay, the value is increased, and this guy, the first piece sold at a profit. So now you drop the next one, and then you're like, and then boom, it's going to get sold right away. Gotcha. Because collectors have visibility of what's going on, and they see that you're not just dropping pieces one after another and devaluing the whole thing.
They see your work. They see your work. Yeah, they know that you put a lot of time and effort into one piece of artwork.
Right, and you understand.
I got you. So the more time and energy you put into one piece, you have a better outcome of selling it, especially if you put the exposure around it.
100%. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you. All right. So let's talk about, let's switch it up real quick. Let's talk about the Ethereum part of this, or whatever whatever piece of currency
blockchain you use. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So right now it's currently the leading one is Ethereum.
Right.
Go ahead. Are we recommending everybody to get Ethereum?
Well, there's reasons why Ethereum is the leader in this.
Gotcha.
And it's because, like, blockchains, there's hundreds of thousands of blockchains out there, hundreds of thousands, and most of them are dead. And if you look on CoinGecko.com or CoinMarketCap, you'll see the top 100 or whatever, and the top 5 or 10, they basically stay that way for months, maybe a couple of years, but below that, the rankings switch all the time, and blockchains come and they go, and it's really hard to sustain a blockchain. So what happens is you'll have like incredibly technically sound blockchains, even better than Ethereum, better than Bitcoin from a technical point of view.
I got you.
But they don't.
As far as being in like when you say technical, you mean like ease of use?
Ease of use, yeah. Like how easy their wallets are to use, how easy it is to set up a wallet, how easy it is to mine the cryptocurrency. So maybe how easy it is to create a smart contract or to create an NFT on there.
Let's narrow it down like this. Which one would you recommend that everybody will use starting off? And let's talk about the benefits of that one.
Well, the reason why I'm saying this is because it's different. It changes. Okay. So people use Ethereum because there's so many developers and there's so many stakeholders in Ethereum
at this time.
So, which means it probably won't disappear, right, in 2 or 3 years, because there's cryptocurrencies that were really popular in 2018 that are gone now. Gotcha. But the problems with Ethereum is that it's really expensive to create an NFT on it, right? And it's called the gas or the transaction fees to mint an NFT. So artists don't like it. Quite frankly, many people don't like
Everybody
Ethereum.
Hate fees.
Yeah. People hate fees, but many people hate Ethereum because it's bloated. You can't really use it as a currency because the transaction costs are too high. Transaction costs right now are like $30. That's ridiculous, right? It should be a couple of pennies. So other cryptocurrencies to create NFTs, better cryptocurrencies and blockchains to create NFTs are there, but for whatever reason, I'm not convinced that they're going to be around in 2 or 3 years.
Well, let me ask you this though. So with all that being said, then why is Ethereum number one?
Just because after all these years, it's been around since 2014, right? And ever since then, like just developers have built on it, they've used it, and it's not going anywhere. So because it has longevity and it's not going, it would suck if like there's NFTs that go for millions of dollars, right? Someone bought an NFT for $1 million. In 2-3 years, that blockchain is gone. Their NFT is gone. So for that reason, people use Ethereum. Now, there's newer blockchains that are coming out that are promising, but most people are still using Ethereum. So that's what I would say. So I would say still Ethereum, but there's other blockchains that I like. But unfortunately, I would have to still recommend if you're getting into NFTs, I would still say use Ethereum
at this time.
At this time.
So thank you for that too.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the different platforms that are being used right now.
So we have a platform. It's called Minty. It's not out yet. It's dropping really soon. The most popular, the most popular platforms right now are Nifty Gateway. I would say that's the top, and then Super Rare is a very close second. But they're so big right now, and they're only going after like celebrities, right? So there's a wait list to get on it. They're very selective at the artists that they allow on it. You have to have like millions of followers.
You gotta be exclusive, pretty much.
Yeah, you have to be a celebrity.
You gotta be somebody.
You have to be a celebrity. Yeah, you basically have to be an influencer in the art space, or Eminem had his drop on that platform. So even if you have a following, it takes months to get approved on there. So
it's not
that platform is basically out.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, it's probably not even beneficial for you even go. Because even if I was somebody who were to get on there, then I still got to compete with all the other people who are on there. You know what I mean?
Right, and you're not going to get support from the platform.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was OpenSea you mentioned.
No. That's Nifty Gateway.
Nifty Gateway.
Yeah.
So let's talk about OpenSea. What about
OpenSea? OpenSea is a platform where anybody can get on. It's kind of like the Amazon of NFTs, in the sense that anybody can get on it and anyone can sell, and everybody knows about it. So, so it's good that it's easy to get on it. But the problem is that there's so many people on it, it's hard to gain visibility.
Gotcha.
So that's the problem with a platform like that.
Visibility is very important.
It's extremely important. So I would say another tip in selling your NFTs is if you can meet somebody who works for one of the platforms and try your absolute best to get on the front page of the platform.
Well, I mean, you on your platform, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
if I need to get on the platform, I'm gonna hit you up.
Yeah. So our platform. So normally, these platforms are like e-commerce platforms, right? You find art as a collector. You find art. You connect your Ethereum wallet. Then you buy art. The art goes to your Ethereum wallet. It's very transactional. It's just simple like that, right?
So my podcast is centered around wrestling for the most part, right? That's a niche.
Yeah.
Varieties of niches out there. Wrestling is one of them. What would your platform be able to support niche audiences? Because people are just posting up stuff and it's random. But what about a platform that has a social aspect to it to create a niche? You know what I mean? I mean, to create a community in which people can thrive in without being bombarded with so many outside, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
You know
I mean,
if I'm making sense.
So we're trying to make our platform minty.art. Is what it's called. We're trying to make it less transactional like Amazon, and more of a platform where you actually learn about the artists. You learn about the art. Maybe there's communication between the collector and the artist, and we have a patronage feature. So it's kind of like an NFT platform plus Patreon together. So if you have fans, they can support you every month so that you can create actually bigger and bigger and more ambitious art pieces. So we're trying to create a community on our platform where you can find your 1,000 fans.
I like that.
So if you have a niche community and you get them involved, it's really about the artist. It's less about the platform, but you get them involved and say, hey, look, we're on minty.art. You can follow me there. Then, some of your fans or some wrestling fans will become patrons of yours, and they'll pay into you to help you build bigger and bigger art. So that's what our platform is about.
I got you. So it's important. It's important for everybody who's listening to this, who follows the Rolling Pin podcast. Make sure you are following the platforms who care about you as an artist and not transactions, because there are a lot of huge platforms out there in which you think you might gain visibility. However, you might not gain any visibility at all.
Right. Yeah. So that's yeah, that's a big thing. As an artist, you know, you don't want to be on a platform where like you would think you're gaining followers or gaining visibility, but you're really not. You're just kind of on there helping their platform out. You know, you're just kind of a number on their platform. So that you don't want to be. But I would say like the two jobs of an artist: number one, create good art; number two, create your community as much as you can and try to get to those 1,000 fans, because those are the ones who are going to support you through thick and thin. They love your art no matter what.
I'm gonna have to read that. I got some. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take the time to do this. Then at the same time, I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out to everybody who's been following the Rolling Pin podcast up until this point, who has been supporting my artwork, because I need you to get to 1,000. So thank you so much for all your support up until this point. And I hope that Mr. Abasa here and myself are providing you with enough information for you to have an informed decision about how you plan on going about your NFTs.
Yeah. See, the podcast is great because, you know, the people, they follow you and they tune in deliberately. It's not just they don't just kind of happen upon it, right? So they're looking for wrestling, they find it, they find you, they're listening, they're into it. You know what I mean? You're in the same tribe. So they found their tribe in your podcast, right? So just bringing those people together, because I might listen to it, but I don't know anyone else that does. So if somehow creating something where you're like, hey, follow me on Clubhouse, we're all going to get together and talk about WrestleMania or whatever, right? So that way, so now I know who else is involved into who else is in the tribe, right? So I can follow that too. So it becomes like a nice mesh. So I would do.
It's a couple of wrestling fans that I know out there who,
you
know, some big, some small, they're all equal. But I know a couple of them out there who might be interested in jumping on Clubhouse and doing something.
Yeah, like that. I would say do that. Yeah, or do a wrestling Clubhouse room. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So just maybe make the community even tighter than it is, and then that'll get you to 1,000 fans for sure.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot more we could talk about in detail about how to set up and whatnot, but I don't think anybody really needs to set up based on. I mean, you can if you want, but I think it's more so of a learning thing that needs to happen right now. People. I think people need to do a little bit more reading. People need to, you know, do a little bit more engaging. I think everybody from this conversation needs to go ahead and get on Clubhouse, download Clubhouse. Right. Well, shit, if I actually downloaded Clubhouse, so I met Abasa, so I need everybody who listening to this to go ahead and get a Clubhouse so y'all can follow me on it, and then we can talk about all the shit on there too. You know
right.
So we'll start there, and then you know what I mean.
It works.
People are just jumping right in and just trying to make a profit, but I'm understanding more and more now that it's taking a lot of. It goes back to being authentic and creating that community again.
And you know what? Celebrities think that too. Even Eminem, I'm sure, thought that. Someone probably came to him. He probably got the wrong advice because his NFT kind of flopped, in my opinion. So, and they were like, look, you have this following. Let's make them NFTs. You heard of NFTs? Yeah, I heard of NFTs. Boom, boom. They put something out real quick, but that wasn't a one, in my opinion. They could have done a lot. That's what happens. Right. You know what I mean? It's going to mess everything up, because what's going to happen is collectors are going to see a bunch of bunk out there. They're going to stop collecting, and then the market's just going to collapse. Because already there's more artists than collectors. Yeah. Right. There's more artists than collectors. So
it's more artists than collectors. Okay, I got you.
Way more.
That makes sense. Yeah, because people are putting up, because anybody's doing it. You know, everybody's doing it because they just feel like they can make a quick buck. So this is so I'm guessing that this is right now is a highly volatile time to be doing NFTs, and honestly, more research should be done before jumping in. I actually
heard for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, damn. Oh,
am I missing? You're gonna say I heard from someone? Oh, yeah, I wanted to hear what you were about to say.
Well, no, I was gonna say I heard from someone that you know what I mean. It was a rough state right now as far as being rocky.
It is. It's extremely rocky. But the thing is, if you have your fans and you create NFTs and you properly foster your fans and get them involved, it doesn't matter what the overall market is like, because it's like NBA Top Shots, right?
Yeah.
They're doing well. That's all weather. They're going to do well regardless of the NFT markets, regardless of the crypto markets, because they're engaging their fans.
They have a little fan base.
They don't care about anybody else. So they're like, we're engaging the NFT fan or the NBA fans, and that's it. And then they're buying Top Shots.
Right.
So that's what you kind of have to do. Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Is there something that you would like to tell people who are looking to get into this? Like, is there something that I'm missing that you need to get out? Or
yeah, I would say mainly just do your research, tread lightly. Don't just throw stuff up because it's not going to do anything. The collectors are your fans and the people, your fans who have crypto, right? So it's really hard to onboard your fans who don't know anything about crypto to get crypto to buy your NFT. So remember, you're engaging not only your fans, but your fans that have crypto.
Okay. Come on, buddy. Come on. I want to be on the show. Yeah,
how old is he?
8 months.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right. So I guess he was coming to get me. So we can go ahead and adjourn this. But however, I would love to have you back on here. I think you are providing a lot of different resources and a lot of valuable information. And I think a lot of people can learn from you as we progress.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna share this with my community, and I'll definitely keep you informed. And when are you gonna be back in Clubhouse? Because I'm gonna jump on there too.
Yeah, I do it. So it's Monday your evening, and then it's no Monday your what is it? Monday your Tuesday your morning.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, and then Tuesday my evening.
So this Tuesday I'll be on there.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So shit, I think that's it. That was Abasa, y'all, from Japan. Very, very cool guy. I think everybody would agree.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Come out to Japan. Come see me sometime.
Shit, I would love to. Hey, you got a room?
No. This Japan, man. The places are small here, man.
I had to ask.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
thank
then.
You so much.
Yeah, thanks. All right.
All right. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later.